quick update on where I stand with our gardening stuff this year. You can see outside I moved those kale plants that I had started indoors around Thanksgiving. We had picked leaves off them all winter long, and they just, keep on growing. So I figured, what the heck, let's stick a couple of them outside. Now this top box here, I just cleaned that up and turned it over, and got the kale on the end here, and the rest of it is filled with 2 different types of spinach. And this actually was a couple weeks ago when I was doing the boiling down the maple syrup outside. We did get a couple really nice warm days, unlike what we have now. But I'm just watering them up, getting the spinach seeds ready to go. And then let's start cleaning up another bed down here. This one's going to be all the lettuce. So it's just, it's compost. I do have to add a little bit more to it this year. But otherwise, the soil, you can see how nice it is, and how easy it is to take care of things when you have it in raised beds. And these beds up here never get attacked by animals or anything, so they're really good for the spring greens and stuff like that. So I cut myself up some more strips of ash from some scrap wood I had, and getting in the spinach, the bok choy, and some radishes in that bed there. And then I had started these kale this spring down in the grow tent. So I decided to move a couple of them outside while we had these warm days here. I'm hoping they make it. I'll show you at the end what they look like now, but we did get some really cold weather the last couple of days. But it looks like they might survive. So I'm just moving them outside here. I did a couple the first day, and then I did a couple more the next day once I saw it was safe. So I got a good start on these beds up by the house for all the greens and lettuce and stuff like that. And time to head down in the garden here. You can see everything looks good. Those new raised beds are really nice, and the raised beds are in pretty good shape this year. Not too many weeds to deal with. My spring onions there, I've got to clean them out a little bit. They're starting to come up now. And the garlic actually is all popped up, so that's looking real good. That's off to a good start this year. Hoping for a year like we had last year, where it was just amazing. So I decided this year along the fence I'm going to plant my peas to start out with. I like to move things around every year, so get my pitchfork out, and you can see that these were all filled with new compost last year, these beds, but they've settled some. So I'm going to have to put some more in there, but I figured I'll just, for now, I'll just pile up what I got along the back there put the peas in. And I'm going to try some of these peas that I found on Rare Seeds that actually had a really good review. Never tried them before. These are just a standard pea. And then across the back fence, I'm actually going to put a snow-type pea. So just, taking my time, enjoying the sunshine out here. We did have a couple of really beautiful days, while I was doing the maple syrup. And a couple minutes later, I've got that first bed in, and then it's time to move on and do the rest of them. That's a good thing about raised beds again. It's just, you can do what you want. Just do a little bit at a time, clean one up, then move on to the next one the next day or the next hour. So it's really enjoyable not being overwhelmed, having to deal with a big garden all at once. I'm really enjoying having everything broken down like this. It's not for everybody, but they really do work out good for us. And you can see I'm going to have to add some more compost to the front of this one too. All of them have settled down since I filled them last year. But same thing, space out the seeds about 3-4 inches on each seed. And I had just enough in the 2 packs to do the one fence with the regular peas and one with snow peas. Then I'm going to sprinkle on some Malorganite when I'm done, and that usually helps keep the animals away from the tender sprouts when they come up. We'll see, if it still works, but I got them all planted, and it didn't take that long, so, at least I got something in out there. Then time to start on one of these beds. These round beds have been just amazing. And you can see they're all filled with compost, very easy to take care of. hard to believe that the material for these beds is probably close to 45 years old now. I wish I could find more, but they did work out good for us. And this one here, I decided to clean up and put some carrots in this year. So I did put some fresh compost in last year that I had purchased, if you remember back. But I'm just going to loosen this up, and then I'm going to go over to my compost pile, which this is all ready to use this year. I've got probably about close to 3 yards of compost. It's really beautiful. It took a couple of years to make, but it's looking good. So I'm going to put a little bit in each of the boxes as I go along here and get things started. And then I do have some new boxes to bring in also, put in that I showed you in that one last video. So I'm just going to take each of those round beds and put like a half wheelbarrow full of compost in there and mix it in before I plant the seeds. And you see the camera strap blowing there. It's been windy up here this whole spring so far. We've had an awful lot of wind. That was really what slowed me down with my maple syrup processing. So I got that all mixed in, and time to get that little seed spreader thing there. These little trays are really do work good for seeds like carrots. You can just set the seed size, and I decided to go in circles this year. Doesn't really matter whether you plant little rows or little circles. You get about the same out of them. And it's going to sprinkle in a couple of seeds there, and get 2 beds set up here with carrots to get started out. There's something that you can put in while before the last frost is over. So that started, and then it's a little bit late. I waited a little too long, and time to start trimming all the bushes and plants. These are the grape plants that I have. I have these 4 vines, and last year I got out there too late, and all the grapes were eaten by animals, so that really ticked me off. But every year I just go back and I just kind of trim off all the new growth from the previous year. And don't really know exactly what I'm doing here, but I'm having fun doing it, so that's all that counts. And I do get grapes every year, so apparently I'm doing something right. But I just trim back all the new growth, and you can see a lot of buds forming already, so I'm not sure if I'm a little bit late or not, but it's definitely an enjoyable day. It was that day. So I just worked my way down the row of them there, and there you can see them all cleaned up, and just one big mess to clean up on the ground there, but that won't take long. And it's time to go up and do the apples next. Well, that did take a while. And let's walk inside today and start looking around. These are my little onions that I started down in the grow tent a couple weeks ago. They're looking good. My marigolds are really slow to germinate this year. They're going to be behind, but I'm not too really worried. And then I'll go down to the grow tent where all the good stuff is. These are all my tomato and pepper plants. Everything germinated good. I've been picking them out. I'm down to 2 in a cup right now on the tomatoes, and peppers will start thinning pretty soon. The only seeds I had problems with were the habanadas that I saved last year. They were very poor germinators, and I'm waiting to see how many of them I'm going to have. But peppers all germinated in 3 days on the heat mat, so I was really happy about that. And here we are today. Outside, the ground is frozen solid. It's been 20 degrees out for like the last 2 days, so you can see all my lettuce and stuff is coming up, and I'm hoping that it survives this cold. It really should, but I won't know for another day or two till it warms up. Then one last thing to look at are those sweet potatoes that I watched that YouTube video on and grabbed a couple and tried to start. And of the 3 of them, I do have one that's showing some signs of growth. It looks like that one might be successful. The other 2 are basically duds, look like they're going to rot, so I'm not sure if that was the best thing to do or not. But, I've watched the video on it, worked for somebody else, and I figured I'd try it. And looks like I will get some sweet potato slips out of that one at least, so, it wasn't a complete waste of time. So I just wanted to let everybody know, where I am, and that I have basically gotten started with some of the earlier stuff, and hopefully, all these seed starts will do good, and they'll be going in soon. And, at the start of another garden season. Got my second COVID vaccine this week, and I've been kind of punky for a couple of days, so I've been laying low. But, otherwise I'm doing great, and glad that that's all over with. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.